Hello. I'm talking to the right to travel people again. The proper position was discussed. Now we must know what is the proper question to ask. The proper question is, where do you derive your police powers? Okay, and what is the jurisdiction? So where's the jurisdiction of these police powers, and what are the limitations of these police powers? Remember, the inclusion of one is the exclusion of the other. And all laws must support all other laws, which means that no law can contend with any other one. So when you hear laws about that, it sounds like they contradict. They're really not contradicting because one is talking about one thing and one is talking about another. So the people who understand that when I shouldn't say the word you, the physical flesh and blood is not the estate or the commercial transmitting utility. Once you understand that there are two sets of rules, mind you, then this will start to actually make sense. So people talk about their constitutional rights, which were not given to you. Basically, the inalienable rights are all the rights that you already have. So this is what they're talking about when they're really talking about common law. Because common law is not really written down. It basically means you don't bother me, I don't bother you, we don't hurt each other. That's basically what it means. Okay. Then we get into what we call contracts. So how do we get into the contract? We got into the contract by giving up our freedoms. Because remember, the power of the governed comes from the governed. So you actually give them the authority to tell you what to do. Okay. So I'll go over this thing with the Pledge of Allegiance with the United States versus the Republic for which it stands. So I'm quite sure hopefully you've heard that. If not, you're going to have to understand the word and. We're not going to go there right now. So the proper question is think of it this way. So under the common law, I can do what I want and you can't bother me as long as I'm not bothering anybody else. And the highway system, the interstates and the interstates are for everybody to use, even though they were built by commerce. So they have to let us use them. Okay, so here's what happens. We give up our rights, our inalienable rights, when we accept their privileges, which is the driver's license and the registration of our car, because we don't own our car because we don't have a bill of sale. So here's the point. So if common law is I can do whatever I want to, then I can't do what I want to if I get into a contract. Remember, contract shows responsibility. That's all you got to realize. Contract is a responsibility. So it stands to reason that the laws of each state is followed by the United States. That corporation is the mother corporation, and the sibling corporations are the states themselves, down to the counties and cities and things like that. Okay, so the one, I can do anything I want. Those are all of my inalienable rights. And however, the United States in itself deals with the contracts. So that means they are commercial. They are commercial. So when you become in the commercial arena, you lose your inalienable arena rights. That's why you have to remove the presumption that you are in itself a commercial entity by transcribing something on your license, something on your registration, something on your car, so that when they pull you over, they see that you are not engaged in commerce. Now, do you think you're going to get this from them? No. Do you think they're going to tell you? No. Because what happened is the only people who are responsible for adhering to the rules of commerce and have to pay for the highways and byways are those people who are actually doing business. Understand this one particular point. If you're on commerce, then this definitely applies to you. If you are not in commerce, you're participating, however, it doesn't apply to you. Now, there's a way around this. I've talked to that before in the other one. However, when you don't have the credentials, then you're just going to be harassed. So right now, I want you to understand this because it's very, very easy. I need you to wrap your head around the fact that we give away our inalienable rights for quote-unquote privileges. I need you to understand this And this is the proper question. So the proper question is not, do I have a right to travel? The proper question is, what gives you the police powers to enforce anything on me? That's the proper question. And that's the question you need to answer to, they're not going to answer. So, in the vein of there is no spoon, understand, do I have a right? Yes, you have a right. That's not the spoon you should be looking at. Do you have a right to impede my rights? That in itself is the proper spoon to pay attention to. Again, this is Julius, creator of The Color of Law, and this episode has been sponsored by Gold Care. And once again, thank you for listening.